Number 17. A Studio on the Brink. 20th Century Fox gambled everything on this production at a moment when the studio could least afford failure. Just before greenlighting the film, Fox had experienced one of Hollywood's most infamous disasters. Cleopatra had nearly bankrupted the company, its massive cost overruns and troubled production becoming a cautionary tale throughout the industry. The financial fear hanging over the studio shaped every decision during production. Executives scrutinized budgets with unusual intensity, knowing that another expensive failure could end the company entirely. This pressure filtered down to the set, where awareness of the stakes added tension to an already demanding shoot. Every delay, every problem, every unexpected expense carried weight beyond normal production concerns. The film needed to succeed not just artistically but commercially in ways that would rescue Fox from the brink. This context makes the eventual triumph even more remarkable. What emerged from such anxious circumstances became one of the highest-grossing films in history at that time, generating profits that stabilized the studio and justified every risk taken. The movie that could have been Fox's final disaster instead became its salvation, transforming corporate desperation into cinematic triumph against considerable odds. Number 28. Rain nearly drowned the schedule. Austrian weather refused to cooperate with Hollywood's carefully planned timeline. Location filming required specific conditions to capture the sun-drenched alpine beauty that would define the movie's visual identity. Instead, the production encountered relentless rain that stretched across days and then weeks, throwing schedules into chaos and budgets into jeopardy. Cast and crew waited in frustration as storms rolled through Salzburg and the surrounding countryside. Every rain delay meant mounting costs, idle personnel, and growing pressure from studio executives already nervous about finances. The production scrambled to film interior scenes when possible, but many key sequences required outdoor locations that simply could not be faked on sound stages back in Hollywood. When sunshine finally broke through, filming happened at a frantic pace to capture as much usable footage as possible before the next storm arrived. This desperate scramble is invisible in the finished film, where every outdoor scene glows with warmth and light. Audiences see only perfection, never suspecting the miserable conditions that dominated much of the location shoot. The gap between what appears on screen and what happened behind the cameras stands as testament to the persistence of everyone involved in bringing the vision to life, despite nature's constant interference. Number 29. Liesl wasn't really a teen. Casting the eldest Von Trapp daughter required finding someone who could convincingly portray 16 while also handling demanding choreography and emotional scenes. The actress ultimately chosen for Liesl was considerably older than her character, a common Hollywood practice that nonetheless required careful visual management throughout production. Charmian Carr was 21 years old when she played the supposedly 16-year-old Liesl. The 5-year age difference meant styling choices, lighting decisions, and performance calibration all worked together to sell the illusion of youthful innocence. Carr's natural appearance helped tremendously, as she possessed features that read younger on camera than her actual years. The role attracted interest from several well-known young actresses of the era before Carr won the part. Her relative inexperience actually worked in her favor, bringing freshness that more established performers might have lacked. The gamble paid off brilliantly as Carr's Liesl became one of the film's most beloved characters. Audiences completely accepted her as a teenager on the verge of womanhood, never questioning the casting choice that put a young adult in a role meant for someone years younger. The illusion held perfectly from first frame to last. Number 20. The ending changed history. The film's climactic escape over the Alps into Switzerland makes for breathtaking cinema. The Von Trapp family climbing mountain paths toward freedom, leaving Nazi-occupied Austria behind, provides exactly the triumphant conclusion audiences crave. There is just one significant problem with this geography. It is completely impossible. The real Von Trapp family did not escape by hiking over mountains into Switzerland. The border nearest to Salzburg leads to Germany, not neutral territory. Actually walking the direction shown in the film would have taken the family directly into the heart of Nazi control rather than away from it. The real family simply boarded a train to Italy and eventually made their way to America through legitimate travel. Filmmakers knowingly rewrote geography and history because emotional truth mattered more than factual accuracy. The mountain escape provided visual drama and symbolic resonance that a train departure could never match. Climbing toward freedom, leaving darkness in the valley below, ascending into light and safety created imagery that reinforced the story's themes perfectly. The deliberate historical inaccuracy bothers some purists, but it gave audiences one of cinema's most memorable endings. The power of that final climb continues to move viewers who neither know nor care that the real escape happened nothing like what they see on screen. Number 22. One house was actually three. The Von Trapp villa appears as a single magnificent estate throughout the film, its grand facade and sprawling grounds suggesting aristocratic wealth befitting a naval captain's family. Audiences naturally assume they are seeing one location captured from different angles. The reality involved far more complicated movie magic that stitched together completely separate properties into one seamless illusion. Three distinct locations combined to create the fictional home. The iconic rear facade with its lakeside terrace belonged to one property. Interior scenes were filmed at another location entirely. Additional exteriors came from yet a third site, with some elements constructed on sound stages back in Hollywood. Each location contributed specific elements that editors wove together into what appears to be a single coherent estate. The geographical impossibilities are invisible to casual viewers. Characters walk through doors that connect rooms existing in different buildings miles apart. Windows look out onto views that could never be seen from where those windows supposedly exist. The illusion required meticulous planning during filming and careful continuity management during editing. Set decorators ensured visual elements matched across locations, while cinematographers maintained consistent lighting that would allow footage to cut together smoothly. The result is so convincing that even viewers who have watched dozens of times never question whether the house actually exists as a single location. Number 22. The real family made almost nothing. Behind the film's extraordinary financial success lies a deeply ironic tragedy for the people whose lives inspired it. The real Von Trapp family sold the rights to their story years before Hollywood came calling, accepting terms that seemed reasonable at the time but proved catastrophic in hindsight. Their deal left them with almost no share of the fortune their story would generate. The original rights sale happened when the family needed money and had no way of predicting what their memoir might become. The stage musical's success should have changed their fortunes, but the contractual terms remained fixed. When the movie adaptation shattered box office records and became a cultural phenomenon, the Von Trapps watched from the sidelines as others profited enormously from their experiences, their struggles, and their name. Maria Von Trapp reportedly received approximately $3,000 for the film rights, a sum that seems almost insulting given the hundreds of millions the movie eventually earned. The family continued operating their lodge in Vermont and making personal appearances, but they never enjoyed wealth proportional to their story's global impact. This bittersweet reality adds poignancy to every viewing. The tale of a family escaping hardship and finding happiness enriched countless people connected to its telling, except for the actual family whose real hardships and real courage started everything in the first place. Number 23. Painted Alps fooled everyone. Location filming in Austria provided authentic alpine beauty that no Hollywood backlot could fully replicate. Yet, even with access to genuine Austrian landscapes, the production still relied heavily on old-school visual trickery to expand and enhance what cameras captured. Painted backdrops and matte work filled gaps that location shooting could not practically address. Studio artists created massive painted backgrounds that extended mountain vistas beyond what any single camera angle could capture. These handcrafted illusions blended so skillfully with real footage that transitions between actual landscape and artistic interpretation became invisible.
Interior scenes supposedly looking out windows onto Salzburg actually showed carefully painted views positioned behind set walls. The craftsmanship involved deserves recognition that modern digital effects often overshadow. These were not quick fixes, but painstaking artistic achievements requiring weeks of detailed work. Painters studied actual Austrian scenery to match colors, lighting, and atmospheric perspective precisely. Their contributions appear throughout the film, yet audiences remain completely unaware they are watching anything other than pristine location photography. The seamless integration of practical effects and painted elements represents a high point of classical Hollywood technique achieved by artists whose names most viewers will never know, but whose work remains visible in every sweeping alpine panorama. Number 25. Plummer almost said no. The role that would define Christopher Plummer's popular legacy nearly went to someone else because he wanted nothing to do with it. When offered the part of Captain Von Trapp,